right, back at it, Clavaria this time. So we've got progress on our calabaza, so American pumpkin. So they're green. You can definitely see the contrast into the field. I've got my Blue Lab tools, so I'm gonna go out and take a look. EC was good, a little sporadic. pH was okay, not too bad, but these guys have definitely grown really good. But what I'm looking for is I want to see if I have downy mildew, so I can see some damage into this one. This is a good example. So I'm actually hunting to see damage and pest. The new growth is okay, so we're going to probably apply something to that. You're not going to see a lot of flowering right now because they're still in vegetative state, but I am seeing that they are being attacked. It is what it is. That's why we got tools. That's why we plant so much. That's why agriculture is not easy. And when people try to modernize it or change it, is you still have to grow enough food or have enough thing to account for unpredictability in your crops. So even for this one, even if it's a hobby, you have some right there, like that one's probably on its way out if it can't get fed or treated. It just is. This is a good example of how they're looking. So what these will do is they'll naturally they'll naturally bush out and then vine. So again, I started them late in the season, later than I would normally want to do, like 1 June, somewhere around June, but we started these in mid-July. So debatable if we'll ever bring it in, but right now I think everything's looking pretty good with that. You're noticing that this is the difference between crop cover, like row cover, and plastic mulch. That definitely makes it easier for your guys to maintain weed pressure and everything, because every time you have weeds, you'll bring in pressure into that, and it just keeps the moisture in. You notice how we kind of have a trench system set up here. This is just to keep it raised up so that the water doesn't pool on top of the plant. So that's one of the big issues. That's why we mound it in this way. So it wasn't ideal. I mean, let's be honest. It was kind of like, hey, are you doing pumpkins this year? I'm like, not really doing pumpkins. So it's like, hey, we'll do pumpkins. So I got pumpkins, got them sprouted, but we didn't have enough time to get our fields into what we would like. One thing I'm going to point out right now before I go into that, this one could be overspray. I'm noticing that we probably sprayed Basta or One-A-Side. You can see that light green. So those are systemic and non-systemic ones. So maybe there was a little bit of overspray on there. Spraying stuff that can be used in the calabaza field, like the pumpkin, because we don't want to weed everything. No one likes weeding. No one likes it. And we're doing like a bunch of weed flushes. So we're letting it grow, kill it, grow, kill it, grow, kill it. And then that would be the easiest way to control it. I should be marking things down, but right now I'm just kind of gabbing and just kind of going through and just kind of looking at some of the plants and seeing if I notice anything that might be worth like talking about. But Sunday afternoon, hopefully we'll get some videos posted. I went to 2 farms this week. Other one, we had our first hot pepper harvest. Hot pepper prices have recovered. It was 110 pesos, so a little over $2 a kilo. So that's actually really good for us, and we're just ready to start our season of that. I am having issues there. I'm fighting anthracosis inside that farm, but that's just kind of one of those things. It could be because I planted peppers in the same part. It could be a lot of things. We're noticing it across a lot of things. It's been really weird and rainy, so you can kind of do that. One thing I want to point out is one of the things that we do spray is called Zebra Blue, and it's pretty like a Manzate, pretty much. And one thing is I want these bluer. If I can make my plants blue, it'll also provide an insect thing. So I'm noticing just a little bit of insect pressure and whatnot on these as we get back in here. Again, this is about 120 to 130 linear meters, and then row spacing. So I'm just kind of watching them. I'm watching the natural plant pressure. You can see where like they just grow up. So you just have to kind of hand weed where they're at, spray where you can. You can see that. So we're fighting it at bay, but this is what it looks like from the back, faced towards our barrels and whatnot. We did end up incorporating more blue barrels this time just to make it easier. We're able to refill. I did see a nice one. So I would say probably in about another month, these would find out pretty good. We did have one that did grow. This one's a good example. This one's doing good. See how it's starting to vine out? We can vine it either that way or this way. So this one, it's vining out this way. So it's going to grow out into there. I don't know how big. So then we're going to have our path down the center. That's kind of how we're doing it. So that one is what they should look like. But one of the big things I want to point out is right there. This could be your sign of downy. Pumpkins have a big issue with downy mildew, so you're going to always want to be monitoring that. So that's why I want them blue, is that every week, regardless of whether they need it or not, they're getting sprayed with that, because one of the big killers of your crop is downy mildew. And if you don't have ability to treat it, it'll start small. You'll be like, oh, it's only 1% of my crop, and then it'll just come out of nowhere, and then you'll lose your entire crop because you weren't actively spraying each time. So one thing we're doing every week is we spray Zebra Blue and then coat them. So we might go a little bit tougher. I don't notice on all the ones, I'm noticing a little bit of sucking insects, a little bit of tack, but we'll get these guys fed. But I think they've really gone through establishment where most of them are starting to make good little towers. They still need to be bigger, but they're about ready to start running, which is good. So that means we haven't killed them. We haven't applied too much nitrogen or over nitrogen. So that's pretty good. Other than that, not too much. Gonna be a casual day. We're only up here for a quick stop. Kids are back in school, busy doing that life. So it's crazy. I had soccer game. So yeah, just really busy. Here's one of our ways that we store water. So I got the little nice fancy top. This is a 200 liter or a 55-gallon drum. Got two here. And then we have our irrigation system that's just right out there. Easier to do that. It's like a hose. And then we have our mixing barrels. So you can mix your fertilizers right into there and then go from there. So yeah, pretty good. I like it. I like the setup. I actually thought about bringing drip out here and just putting it down, but drip benefits a lot better when you have plastic mulch. It just really keeps it pretty compact. We've got our cows. I don't know, the other cows aren't following out there in the other paddock today. So one of the other farms that came up today was Napier grass or Mombasa grass. So we're looking to kind of incorporate grass and follow along crops into it as we move into other ideas. So yeah, not too bad. Looks like we got some de-weeding right here. Yeah, it looks like he de-weeded all into here or sprayed it out. You can see the other field got sprayed out. It's all nice and yellow. But yeah, these guys are looking pretty good. Some aren't, you know, like here. That one's not looking good, but the growth behind it looks okay. And here's another one of them vining. So they just aim them. What you would do to vine them is you just pick it up like this, and see how like they have their little things. They're just like anchored, and you just move it that way. So then, hey, you go this way. And then you just do it nice and gently, and then they just move out.